Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, students of class 5. Our subject is science, unit number 4, lecture number 17, and our today's topic is animals, vertebrates and invertebrates. But before this, let's review the previous lecture. In the previous lecture, we will learn that the living things are classified into different groups: terrestrial, aquatic, amphibians, aerial, and arboreal. Describe the environment in which animals live. We also learned that plants grow in the terrestrial or aquatic environment. Animals may be herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, or parasite. We also learned the definitions of herbivores. The herbivores are those that feeds on the plants, and the carnivores are those that feeds on animals, and the omnivores are those that feed on both plants and animals. And the parasite, the organisms that live in or an organism's species and benefit by deriving nutrients and other expense. We also learn the definition of classification, the action or process or classifying something. I repeat this definition again: the action or process of classifying something. We also see what we learn in this chapter, the 5 kingdoms of living things, and we also learn that over here animals are subdivided into vertebrates and invertebrates. Today we learn the kingdom animals, vertebrates and invertebrates. We also learn over here the living things are divided into 5 kingdoms. These are protists, prokaryotes, fungi, plants, and animals. We also talk about the example of these: protist, amoeba; prokaryotes, bacteria and some type of algae; fungi, mushrooms, molds, yeast. In the examples of plants, all green plants. In the animals, all multicellular animals. Now class, today we are going to learn that each of the 5 kingdom is subdivided. 5 kingdom में हर चीज़ जो है उसको मज़ीद subdivide किया जाता है. First of all, we learn about animals. Then we can see over here vertebrates and invertebrates. Animals classified into vertebrates and invertebrates. What is the difference between vertebrates and invertebrates? Vertebrates में और invertebrates में क्या difference है? Animals can be classified according to whether they have a backbone, vertebrates, or do not have a backbone, invertebrates. It's mean that we learn the definition of vertebrates. The vertebrates are those animals which have a backbone. ऐसे vertebrates ऐसे animals हैं जिनमें backbone होती है. The examples are mammals, reptiles, amphibians, birds, fish. And the invertebrates are those do not have a backbone, जिनमें रीढ़ की हड्डी नहीं होती. The examples are insects and worms. I repeat this for you people. The vertebrates are those they have a backbone. Those animals which they have a backbone. And the invertebrates do not have a backbone. You can see over here, animals are further subdivided into 2 groups. These are vertebrates and invertebrates. Animals which have backbone, they are called vertebrates, and the animals which do not have backbone, they are called invertebrates. Now open, you can see on the page number 35, vertebrates. Vertebrates are classified into 5 groups. वर्टिब्रेट को मज़ीद 5 ग्रुप्स में क्लासीफाई किया गया है और क्लासेस दीज आर, अब वो 5 ग्रुप्स कौन से हैं? नंबर 1 मैमल्स, ममालिया जानवर, रेप्टाइल्स. रेप्टाइल्स आर दोज इन द उर्दू फॉर्म यू कैन से रेप्टाइल्स मीन रेंगने वाले. Fish, मछली, birds, परिंदे, and amphibians. Amphibians are those who can live on water and land both. Do you remember learning about these? Student, I repeat this. Vertebrates are classified into 5 groups. These are mammal, birds, reptile, amphibians, and fish. The 5 groups of vertebrates are mammals, bird, reptile, amphibian, and fish. The examples are, you can see, trout, tuna, shark. These are the example of fish. Trout is वो fish है जो कि मीठे पानी में लजीज सी ये fish है, स्वीट सी. Trout, tuna, and shark. The examples of amphibians are frog, newt, salamander. And the examples of reptile are snake, crocodile, turtle. The examples of birds are pigeon, hen, sparrow, owl, seagull. And the examples of mammals are dog, cat, camel, horse, cow, and lion. This chart shows that also the vertebrates are divided into 5 groups. Here are the example of these, and now we learn that they are cold-blooded or warm-blooded. You can see over here, fish is cold-blooded, amphibian is also cold-blooded, reptile cold-blooded, birds warm-blooded, mammals warm-blooded. Covered mean. The word covered mean, it's here we talk about the skin. So you can see over here, fish have scales, covered with scales. Amphibians covered with moist slippery skin. Moist, gilly, slippery, फिसलने वाली skin. Reptile, dry skin covered with scales. Birds have feathers and mammals have hairs. I repeat this. Fish covered with scales. Amphibians moist slippery skin. Reptile dry skin covered with scales. Birds have feathers and mammals have hairs. Student, in this page we learn that vertebrates are those who have backbone, and vertebrates are further divided into 5 groups. These are mammal, bird, reptile, amphibian, and fish. And we also learn over here the examples, and we learn that they are cold-blooded or warm-blooded. And we also learn that about their skin. Open page number 36. You can see the 5 groups of vertebrates and their habitat. How can they breathe? And they reproduce or lay eggs. You can see here mammal, bird, reptile, amphibian, and fish. You can see habitat means where they live. So we can say that fish live and reproduce in water. Fishes कहाँ होते हैं? Water में. Amphibian can live on land and in water. Amphibians जो हैं वो water और land दोनों में रहते हैं. while reptiles some live in water and some live on land. रेप्टाइल जो रेंगने वाले जानवर हैं वो वाटर में भी रहते हैं और लैंड में भी रहते हैं. बर्ड्स मोस्ट लिव ऑन लैंड, ज़मीन पर ही बर्ड रहते हैं. वी कैन से दैट मैमल्स मोस्ट लिव ऑन लैंड, मैमल्स भी कहाँ रहते हैं? लैंड में. स्टूडेंट, हैबिटेट में हमने पढ़ा फिशेस लिव एंड रिप्रोड्यूस इन वाटर, एम्फीबियंस लिव ऑन लैंड एंड इन वाटर, रेप्टाइल्स ऑल्सो लिव इन वाटर एंड सम लिव ऑन लैंड. कुछ जो है वो पानी में रहते हैं और कुछ ज़मीन पर खुश्की में. बर्ड्स लिव ऑन लैंड एंड द मैमल्स लिव ऑन लैंड ऑल्सो. हाउ कैन दे ब्रीथ? किसके ज़रिए वो सांस लेते हैं? ब्रीथ थ्रू. फिशेस की बात करें तो फिशेस ब्रीथ थ्रू गिल्स. एम्फीबियंस देयर स्किन एंड लंग्स. एम्फीबियंस जो हैं अपने जिल्द और लंग्स से थ्रू सांस लेते हैं. रेप्टाइल्स breathe through their lungs, birds their lungs, and the mammal also breathe through their lungs. Student, I repeat this. Breathe through fish's gills, amphibians their skin and lungs, reptile their lungs, bird their lungs, mammals their lungs. Next one is reproduce by. ये अपने जैसे जानवर कैसे पैदा करते हैं? फिश की बात करें तो लेइंग एग्स इन वाटर, पानी में अंडे देती है फिश. एम्फीबियंस लेइंग एग्स इन वाटर, एम्फीबियंस से क्या करते हैं? एग्स देते हैं वाटर में. रेप्टाइल लेइंग एग्स ऑन लैंड, लैंड पर एग्स देते हैं. बर्ड लेइंग हार्ड शेल्ड एग्स ऑन लैंड, ज़मीन पर वो भी एग्स ही देते हैं लेकिन उनके जो शेल हैं वो काफ़ी हार्ड होते हैं. मैमल्स गिविंग बर्थ टू लाइव बेबीज़, मैमल्स जो हैं वो एग्स नहीं प्रोड्यूस करते बल्कि बेबी प्रोड्यूस करते हैं. स्टूडेंट, इन दिस टेबल वी लर्न द हैबिटेट, ब्रीथ थ्रू एंड reproduction of 5 groups of vertebrates. We learn over here habitat, breathe through and reproduce by. I repeat the topic again. We learn over here the vertebrates are further divided into 5 groups. These are mammal, bird, reptile, amphibian and fish. We learn about their examples. They are cold-blooded or warm-blooded. How they are covered, what are the habitat, how they breathe through, and how they reproduce. So we learn all these one by one with the help of examples also. You can see this is the small ducks and geese live on land and water. Ducks जो हैं और geese जो हैं ये कहाँ रहती हैं? Water और land में. Mammals like dolphins and whales live in water. Mammals जो हैं dolphin और whales ये water में ही रहते हैं, while the walrus live mostly on sea ice. Students, on page number 36 you can see the concept check. Place the following creatures in the correct column. आपने जो नीचे दिए गए कुछ मखलूक़ात हैं इनको आपने करेक्ट कॉलम में लिखना है. आपने बताना है कि ये vertebrates हैं या invertebrates हैं. Add at least 3 more examples of your own to each column. So we can separate them here: goldfish, cat, parrot, whale, frog and lizard. They are vertebrates. Vertebrates have backbone, while the invertebrates are slug, snail, cockroach, beetle, worm and spider. They are invertebrates. They do not have backbone. Answer this question. Name 2 mammals that live in the water. 2 ऐसे ममालिया जानवरों के नाम बताएं जो कि वाटर में रहते हैं. They are dolphin, whale, manatee, and dugong. I repeat this: dolphin, whale, manatee, and dugong. They all are the aquatic mammals who live in the water. Question number 3 is, name 5 invertebrates that would be living in a garden. आपने 5 ऐसे इन्वर्टिब्रेट्स का बताना है जो कि गार्डन में रहते हैं. The answer of this question is earthworm, spider, beetle, butterfly, ladybird, and grasshopper. These are the invertebrates that live in a garden. Question number 4 is, name 3 invertebrates that live in the sea. आपने कुछ 3 ऐसे invertebrates का बताना है जो कि समुद्र में रहते हैं. The answer is crab, worm, sea slug, sea spider, coral, starfish, oyster, and octopus, etc. I repeat this question: crab, worm, sea slug, sea spider, coral, starfish, oyster, and octopus, etc. Students, learn these questions, and your today's diary is reading page number 35 and 36. Learn and write question number 2 to 4 on your notebook. Watch this video again and again. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.